G'day crew and welcome to this week's episode. Yet again I'm covering some of the many little projects that I've done while I haven't had time to get out on the water, been too busy with work. Hopefully that's going to change soon. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel and I think the next video may be out on the water, at least I hope so. We'll see how that goes. In the meantime I thought I'd show you this one. I've been fascinated with the idea of printing my own lures for quite some time using a 3D printer. So while I was busy at work and didn't have time to get out on the boat, I bought a 3D printer, just a cheap one off the internet, and designed a lure and printed it. I've done several lures actually, and depending on the success of them, I'll show you some of the others in later videos after I can get on the water and test them. But in the meantime, I'll just show you this one, give you a general idea of how it works. In a previous video I showed you rigging a jet head that I'd bought, a metal one, quite heavy. And I showed you rigging that up, and I'd done that back to front because I was playing around with other things and I had the hooks on before I rigged it. But in this one I'm doing it the right way. I've got another jet head here, and this one's one that I 3D printed. More on that probably in other videos, but it's got the 4 holes around it to water intakes, 4 holes at the back to expel the water. Hasn't got the hollow section going up inside, which I may do in another one. I'm going to put this squid head on it. I'll cut him off about there and we'll see how he goes. This is all experimental. I have no idea whether it's going to work or how well it will work. I've got an idea of how I want it to work. I've got to turn this inside out. If you haven't seen the other video, when you're putting your squid skirts on these heads, you've got to turn them inside out to do it. I want it to go that way. I think I better get some sort of lubricant on this one, or it's not going to work too well. I just stole this tin of canola oil spray from my wife's pantry. I'm going to spray that up on the inside, or what is now the inside, but really the outside of the squid skirt. I'll just take it away to do that because I don't want to make a mess on the table. I gave that a fairly liberal spray. We want to put it in that way. No, that way. Oh, it's going in. Almost there. Oops. Too far. Oh dear, can we get that back now? Oh. Not easily. I might have to push it all the way through and go again. That last little bit went all of a sudden. I wasn't prepared for it. Oh, now it's been through once and everything's lubricated. It's going a bit easier. Right, okay, that's better. Yeah, got to go clean my hands. I've got that canola oil all over them. I've got a tissue here. I'm cleaning as much of that oil off here as I can. Hard to work when you've got slimy hands or slimy job. So, same deal with this one as the one I've showed previously. Take it round. Might put an overhand knot in this just to start it. Okay, I don't know if I really explained it in the previous one I did, but you could make that loop there and bring the tag end out over the end of the lure and keep that loop of tag up there. It's very important, don't let that go. 1, 2, 3. Cut off a bit there. Bring that through there, through that loop, still maintaining the loop, and then another 3 times around, 2, 3, and bring that back through the loop again. Cinch that down really tight on that. And I'll just put a couple of overhand knots in it just to lock it off. Trim off the tag end a bit. and then fold our squid skirt back down. So there he is like that. And I'll show you how to rig the rest of this lure. Put the hooks on it. Very similar to doing the other one, except because this is a plastic head, I want to put a bit of weight on it, and I'll do that when I rig it. And then we'll just have to see how it trolls, see if it works. As I haven't done one of these before, my very first printed lure. I'll see if it works and maybe adjust things after that. We'll do the build of it, the making of it here, and follow me when I get back out on the water to see if it works. I'm going to put some heavy line on this because I don't think it's going to affect the bite. And I'm going to crimp it. So I just want to find out which size line I need to use here. Should be able to use this Black Magic fluorocarbon alright. I don't want a big long length of it. That should be plenty. Yeah, that should be plenty. Put him off there. Got a torpedo sinker, so you put on it to give it a little bit of weight since it's only a printed plastic head. Might put 2 of them on, and then I'll need some beads as well. Oh, I've got what I need now. I got a second one. Now the first one I put on was a 25 grams, so number 4 sinker. This one's 10 grams. What's that, number 2 roughly. So they'll sit there like that. I've got a hook to go on, which I want to sit about there. So how many beads do we need to make this happen? Like about 6. I'll just slide them up there and see how that looks. Yeah, that looks, yeah, that looks about right. So I want to crimp. I think that'll be coming off. Now let's just test it again. See how we go. Yeah, it looks a little bit longer than I wanted. I think I can take one of those beads off. Take that bead off and put him back and just see how that looks. Yeah, it looks better. You can see that hook will sit with the barb just outside the squid skirt. That's what I want, just like that. I'll get some heat shrink and shrink that on. Now normally I would think that using a red or a green heat shrink would be a better option, but this is what I have at the moment, so this is what I'm going to use. A bit of black. Lost my spot. I want it to go down just over the start of the hook and up to the end of the sinkers. So slide that on. Now this heat shrink is the sort with the hot glue inside it, so that it glues itself to whatever you put it on, which means you only get one rig out of it. So there we go, the hook's just up inside there. That will all sit very nicely, just perfect. So I've just got to heat shrink that down onto it now. I've got a hot air gun here to heat shrink this with, and just get everything sitting out of the way and give it a blast. Good, so those don't blow away there. I just need to hold that out straight a little bit while that hot glue sets in there. My camera ran out of batteries while I was finishing this off, and I didn't realise it, didn't beep or anything at me, so I'll just explain it here. I'm not exactly sure where it ran out of batteries at the moment because I haven't looked at the footage. I just know it was flat by the time I finished. So what I did was I put the 2 sinkers up here and then 5 beads there and the hook. And I put that all in shrink wrap. The sinkers are a number 4, which is 25 grams, and a number 2, I think, which is 10 grams. And then the 5 plastic beads. And it's all shrink wrapped together to hold it nice and straight. So that'll just stick out nice and straight now. I put a loop in the end so I can attach a snap swivel to it, or coast lock swivel. And if we lay all that down there, spread it all out nicely, you can see that that hook sticks out just nicely behind the skirt. we'll just have to see how that goes. I don't know whether it's going to work or not. It's the first time I've ever made a lure of any sort, and certainly the first time I've ever printed one. So it may or may not work. It's a matter of try it and see, and if it doesn't work, I'll do another one and try that. Stay tuned to see the results. Until then, good fishing.